Now, if you break any of these rules, you can't sit with us at lunch. Well, I mean, not just you, like, any of us.
So, unusually, I can start this video with Rosie. Rosie's been very friendly at the minute, haven't you? She's normally aloof. You're aloof, aren't you? Well, technically a cat, but you are quite aloof. She's quite a beautiful cat. But yeah, she was just saying hello, weren't you? She's purring like mad, so she's clearly very happy, which is cool. But anyway, that was Rosie. I'm doing this video because I'm kind of doing a little bit of a full circle, with the Read What Your Own challenge. It's not quite a full circle because I know I won't be able to do the straight challenge, but I'm going to do my own version of it. So, this is the third time I've tried to do a self-restrained, self-disciplined, self-control kind of challenge. The first time I did it, there was a 30 book challenge I put on myself, which was, there wasn't another one going at the time. It was after Ollie had done the first 100 book challenge, and I just sort of did it after. I did it in between that and the next one he did, and it was just bouncing off that. I was like, oh, I'll give that a go, and I picked 30 books, and I did that successfully. But again, I was stressing on doing short books. I kept reading short books, and I felt the pressure to try and finish it. And the second time, which was the last Read What Your Own challenge, so it was the first time it was called that, I got through to like 17 books and then stopped. And I did a video up saying I was happy to fail because I was so excited about buying another book, and it was just a good idea to do that. So this time, because I'm aware of the pitfalls with it for me, and I don't want to just get obsessed with reading short books, I'm that sounded like my dog was growling at my cat, but he wasn't. He's just moaning at life. He does that a lot. He just sort of goes, ah. So it's fine. It's not you, Rosie. We are quite honoured to have you in our company. So, yeah, it's not about that. It's going to be a time thing rather than a number of books. Because I was just watching the Read What Your Own challenge live discussion with 4 big players in it. MJ, Ollie, Greg and Crystal from Fibre Artsy. So the 4 of them were chatting about it. It's a brilliant discussion, which I'll leave in the description below. But they're all coming at it from different angles. They're all united, but they've got different kind of pressures. They've got different paces of reading. They've got different caveats. And one thing Greg says quite early on is that it's really cool that he says that he acknowledges that people read at different speeds, and for someone to read 100 books when they read about 100 books in 3 months, that's not as big a challenge as it would be for someone who reads 100 books in a year. So I read about, I'd say it's a safe bet to say I read about 70 books in a year normally. So that's an entire, well, it's more than a year. It'll be like 14 months of me not buying any books. So I definitely can't do a 100 books challenge. But then he said that he thinks it's quite good to think about it in, say, 20 weeks or something like that. So 20 weeks is a big stretch. But yeah, it's all about it being a challenge, and it should be a challenge. So I wouldn't want to do the sort of 10 book idea, which was bandied about in the chat as well. But absolutely do that if you want. I'm not making any judgments at all. But what I'd like to do is I'm going to say I'm not going to buy any books until the end of the year. So today is the 28th of October. I think you're seeing this on the 7th of November because I'm putting this up in solidarity with the other people doing the challenge. So I'm putting it up as the challenge starts. But I would have already restrained from buying books for a week and a bit before that. So I'm not going to buy any more books now until the end of the year, which would be a thing because normally every week I nip down the road, just have a look, see what's in the charity shop every Saturday. So it would take away that part of the routine. And it is in response to what I've been doing on the channel. I've unhauled 300 books recently in the summer, and I've been doing videos about that, and I've been doing a library tour off the back of that as well. And you're going to see those videos come up. I filmed them all, and there's tons of them because I've got so many books. You know, it is a problem, so it's good to address it. And I have addressed it by getting rid of books, and I'm going to do that again after Christmas. I'm going to have another look and see if there's anything else I can get rid of. Actually, before that, there's some other things I want to see. And I'm going to see if I can get rid of some DVDs as well. So I'm trying to unhaul in general. But I do love the concept of the challenge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about what I might read, and I'm going to do a little book haul, because since the last time I've done anything like a book haul, or certainly just recently, I've bought some books that I thought might be worth talking about because they're quite interesting. And then I'll talk about a potential buddy read, another buddy read that I'm sure is going to happen, and it's not a book I've got here, but it's a book I've got upstairs that I definitely want to happen. And some talk about the DNF challenge and the reread challenge as well. So I'll talk about those things now. So just clarify that from now until the end of the year, so literally till New Year's Day, I'm not going to buy another book. And I'm going to read whatever I've got. So what I'm reading is going to be things I own. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to put off 2 library books I've got because I'm just going to read what I own, and I can do that with the. Can I do that for the? I think the Historathon might have. There might be a few library books in there. I'm not sure. I might make the exception for the Historathon. But possibly not. I think I've got lots of things to read for that I bought, and I've just bought a new thing. I'll start with that, actually. So one of the things I bought, which I thought was really cool, is called Unruly. It's a history of England's kings and queens by David Mitchell. So David Mitchell, if you know David Mitchell, he's a... there's actually 2 famous David Mitchells. There's a writer who wrote Cloud Atlas, but there's also the comedian. So he's famous for Peep Show and for his appearances on... Would I Lie to You is a very consistent thing he's done for years, and a number of different things. I think he's brilliant. And I read some of this in the shop before I got it, and it's a new book. It's only just come out. It was all like, there's loads of them, piles of them, and it was a bit of a discount. I couldn't resist it because I was reading it, and I am obviously interested in history, but I don't tend to go for the top-down history. I've said this before on the channel that my interest in history is about the poor and the peasants and the normal people. And I don't normally read biographies of kings and queens, but this is quite funny. I was reading it and I like the way he's written it. So, and he is absolutely interested in history, so it's not going to be full of inaccuracies, but it will have that kind of comedic tone to it. And it's an awesome cover. So Unruly was bought for the Historathon, so I'm very excited about saying it. And I had this ready to talk about on the live stream. And that live stream that we just done, that huge 5-hour marathon, I had loads of stuff I was going to talk about, but we were just chatting. I was just chatting to friends, and in the end, I didn't really talk about books, but, you know, like specific books. So anyway, that was everything to talk about, so I'm going to definitely read that. So Unruly is one of the things I've just got. I've also got Lucky Jim. So this is a very famous book by Kingsley Amis that was made into a film, and I think it is seen as a modern classic. And is this actual... Oh, it's called... this series of... This imprint is called Penguin Essentials. So it's a Penguin book. I really love the cover. But as you know, if you know my channel, I'm heavily into cartooning. So I love the cartooning kind of element to the cover. So Lucky Jim, I'm going to read that at some point. I love the feel of it. I love the size of it, actually. I need to write books of this size because the books I've published are too big. But anyway, that's a nice chunk, little cute size. Lucky Jim, Kingsley Amis. I've also got Rosemary's Baby. So I got this from... Oh, I got this on the same... so these two are both from HMV, 2 for £7. So they got a really awesome offer. Because I talk about FOP, and FOP's owned by HMV. FOP is a better option as far as the range is bigger, but it's the same idea. They're both owned by HMV, so that's why they do the 2 for £7 thing. So Rosemary's Baby, I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's supposed to be amazing, and clearly I know the film, but I haven't seen the film for years. So Yeah, I don't remember a lot about it, to be fair. So it's going to be quite fresh. So Rosemary's Baby, I've also bought. This is a really interesting one. So this is the Mordecai, Charlie Mordecai. So he was recently portrayed by Johnny Depp, but I did know about the character before that. But this is definitely interesting. I was sold on the title. I didn't even know it was a Charlie Mordecai book until I looked at the cover properly. But it's called "Don't Point That Thing at Me." Don't point that thing at me, which reminds me of one of my favourite Groucho Marx lines in Data Races. So you've got Mr. Gottlieb, or Dr. Gottlieb, who's this sort of posh guy in a suit that's shouting at him, and he says, "Don't point that beard at me; it might go off." So don't point that thing at me. Have you read this? I'd love to know if you read it. I tell you what. One of the reasons why I'm interested in reading now, because I didn't buy it without reading it properly to see what it was, and I think this kind of humour is new to me. So I'm going to read this, and I think this will give me an idea about whether I'd like P.G. Wodehouse kind of humour or Three Men in a Boat kind of humour, or if it's not my kind of humour. I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out. So, but again, I love the cover. It's an awesome cover, and it's a great title. Don't point that thing at me. It might go off. Okay, so I've bought a few horror books as well recently. So that was quite a nice thing to find, and you can tell where, because the sticker. I haven't taken the sticker off yet. I have to do it. Apparently, I have to do it with an iron or with a hairdryer. So Graham Masterton's The Djinn, or The Genie. That's how you spell The Genie, isn't it? So I should have said The Genie, sorry. So Graham Masterton. I've read one other book by him. I really like him, so I was keen to read more. And I've seen his stuff everywhere, so he's quite easy to get hold of, new and second hand. But this was the first time I thought, that's the one. I'm going to go for that one. So The Djinn, The Genie. And I've got... This is quite a famous one, I think. Son of the Endless Night. This was like 97 pence. If there's a number one on it in this shop, it means it's 97 pence, which is well cheap. But John Farris, I've got another book by him, which I bought for Garb August, called Adventureland. And he's definitely a mainstay in the paperbacks from Hell people. This is quite a good condition. It's kind of bent a bit, but it's quite good condition. It's clearly been read, but yeah, it's quite good condition. So that's all good. I mean, it's been read very slowly by the looks of it, or read many times. Could be it's been read many times. So John Farris, Son of the Endless Night. Tell me if you know that stuff. If you're a horror fan, have you read that one? A couple more here. The Influence by Ramsey Campbell. So I know Ramsey Campbell stuff from years back, but I'm going to start reading him again. There's a few books I've got in mind, but this was a new one I bought. The Influence. That looked really good. So have you read that by Ramsey Campbell? And I'm going to read my first Guy and Smith book. So this is really, really good condition, like crazy good condition, which is probably why it was a little bit more expensive. So this was £3.97 or something. Entombed. Have you read Entombed by Guy and Smith? So I haven't got Killer Crabs, that kind of stuff, but I have got this one, really good condition. It's pretty much new. Oh, that's a good point, actually. There are a few books coming into in the post as well, so this is not definitive as far as like stuff I will have that I'm not going to buy afterwards. So they're already in the post. So one of the things that's really interesting that I'm getting is a book I discovered thanks to a live stream that's happening yesterday, and I looked it up. And there's a book by Ray Bradbury where he's reconfigured some of his stories and added a few new ones to the Eisner family stories, and Charles Adams has illustrated the book, which is an amazing thing. So as you know, I'm a big Charles Adams fan, if you know the channel. So Charles Adams and Ray Bradbury working together, oh my god. So that's on the way, so I'll probably talk about that when it arrives, so I'm very excited about that. So that's going to arrive as well. I bought another Alan Dean Foster, and I think, I've got quite a few Alan Dean Fosters to read, but I've never seen that before, and it looked kind of interesting, and he's a kind of a punk who gets involved with aliens, and it just looks really cool, and it's a great cover. So there we go. So Andy Foster, again, really good condition, like crazy good condition, brand new, really. Has this been read? It has been read, but must have only been read once. Yeah, really good condition. So yeah, Glory Lane by Andy Foster. I finally got. Well, I say that I finally. This is a rebuy, so this happens a lot with my Ray Bradbury stuff. So I definitely had I Sing the Body Electric before, and I really liked it. But I bought it again because of my Ray Bradbury deep dive. That's not next. The next thing I'm reading is The Silver Locust, but that is next. But that is coming up at some point. So I Sing the Body Electric. I've got that now. It's a really good collection. So it's nice to have that. Again, really good condition. It's cool when you see that. Yeah, this was what, £2.97. Lovely condition. And then 3 new ones. So I've got a Charles Bukowski book that feels lovely. It's a really nice size, and it's got a really nice weight to it. I don't know what it is about this. I'll have to try and describe it, but yeah, it's really cool. The physicality of the book. I probably shouldn't overstress that after that video I did. But it's called The Bell Tolls for No One, Charles Bukowski. So this is a collection of stuff that wasn't put together by himself, I don't think. Or was it? From a self-illustrated, unpublished work written in 1947 to hard-boiled contributions to 80s adult magazines, The Bell Tolls for No One presents the entire range of Bukowski's talent as a short story writer. Yeah. So, so I think, it looks like quite some of his extreme stuff. Might be interesting. But yeah, I'm talking about Bukowski later on in the year. I've got a very special video that I put up that I was a bit nervous about putting up. But I'm going to putting that up before I do any more videos about Charles Bukowski, because he had a very important part to play in my life, in my early life. And then I'll talk about his books and stuff. But anyway, I got this one to add to what I've got. I've got quite a lot of his books. And then I bought 2 more hard case crime books today in London. So this was before I decided, no, I'm going to do the Read About Your Own challenge. So there's The Max by Ken Bruin and Jason Starr. And I really enjoyed the other one I read by them, which was called Bust, I think, which is really good. It's very kind of twisty-turny, lots of, what's going to happen next, kind of blood simple kind of thing. And then Quarry's Vote. And I was watching The Man with the Hat Who Reads. So I think his name's Matthew. If I'm wrong, Matthew, I apologise. But for the next couple of minutes, you're called Matthew. And he was saying he really liked the Quarry books, and I'd kind of ignored them. And I think it's because I don't particularly like the way the covers are done on these Quarry books. But he said he really liked the Quarry books, so I thought I'd give him a go because I'm reading more crime at the moment. So yeah, that was the other thing I'd bought to go with those other things. So that was a bit of a book haul. And I've just finished, so I'm just about to do a video on the October Country. So my next one after that will be The Silver Locust / The Martian Chronicles. So that'll be really good. Again, that'll be a reread for me. But it's been lovely rereading this. And I did this for Halloween as much as anything else. But there will be a video about this book and the context of this book coming up soon. And all about Dark Carnival and all that sort of stuff. And I'm about to start this, and I might be able to get this finished before the end of Halloween, the end of the October period, going into November. We'll see. But I'm very excited to read this, actually, because everyone loves it. So I am going to read that. But, sorry, I woke you up for a second. Let's talk about a couple of other bits. So, buddy reads. If these 2 months of not buying anything involves me and Dave and Olive reading Cage of Souls, that'll be awesome. So if you're watching this, Dave and Olive, then Cage of Souls could be a thing, because I'm not doing the numbers, I'm doing the time. So I'm not going to be ignoring that, because that's the thing. I don't want to just ignore a book that is longer just because I'm desperately trying to get rid of the challenge. So Cage of Souls, big book, definitely really up for reading that. And also, if MJ wants to read this, I'm really, that's right at the top of my TBR now. So we've talked about reading this together before. So I don't know if that's on her radar or she's put it back down on the bottom of her list. but we both love David Cronenberg. There was a great moment in the live stream when my mate Andy said he thinks he's overrated and he thinks Videodrome is terrible, and we're all like, what? We're all reeling from it. So yeah, put down comments below about what you think about David Cronenberg. But yeah, this is crazy because this man wrote a novel. It's probably crazy. And then the reread. Sorry, I'll talk about the DNF thing first. The DNF December, which I think MJ's doing. I think it was MJ's idea. There's a couple of bits that I'd forgotten I'd DNF'd. So not only had I forgotten I was reading them, but I'd forgotten I hadn't finished them, and forgot that they were DNFs. So one of them was actually this, and I was quite enjoying it, and I just stopped reading it. So The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum. I did read this many years ago, but I wanted to reread it. So I started it, and I got about, what was it? It was about 30 pages in, and then clearly just forgot I was reading it. So I'm going to pick this back up again, because it was technically a DNF, and I definitely DNF'd this. So I got this far into Daisy Jones and the Six, and it wasn't grabbing me, but I want to finish it. I want to be part of the dialogue about this book, but I don't. I think I'm going to be disappointed. So it reads, well, you'd think it was my kind of book, because I'm in a rock band. I love rock bands. I love stuff about rock bands. I watch rock documentaries all the time. But there's something about the way this is written. It feels, I don't know, a little bit derivative, a little bit like she's getting away with murder a little bit about how she's writing it. I'm not sure. Maybe it will sell itself to me the more I read it. Maybe I haven't read enough of it. But it feels like it's a very easy rip-off of Almost Famous at the minute. But we'll see. But yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six is definitely something I want to finish, even if I do it in bits. I mean, it's written really in a kind of a chunky way. They're all like diaries and stuff and interviews and that. So, which was part of the reason why I wasn't connecting, I think. But I'm going to DNF. Sorry, I'm not going to DNF. I did DNF. I'm going to finish that book. And I'm also going to take part in the event about rereading stuff. And there's a few books I want to reread. But I'll do that video when we get to that point. So like late November, there'll be like a reread video, because I think it's quite an interesting concept anyway, why you reread and that sort of stuff. So so I'll be doing that as well. So there we are. I am going to be doing my version of the Read What You Own challenge. It is a Read What You Own challenge, because I am going to be reading what I own. But bouncing off what Greg said in the live stream, I'm considering it as a period of time rather than a number of books. So from today, October the 28th, to New Year's Day 2024, I'm not going to buy another book, and I'm going to read what I own. There you are, I've said it. Should be alright. I've been ignoring my tea. Now it's cold. Right, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support for the channel. Thanks for watching the live stream, because that's 5 hours. You're crazy. Thanks for watching that, because it's had more views than a lot of my videos, and I appreciate that. I really enjoy doing live streams, so I'm going to be doing more live streams. There's a few ideas I've got, actually, which I've written down from here. So, sorry, Rosie, I didn't want to move you. I've got some ideas for things I want to put past you for next year. Oh, yeah, and I've also, there's a couple of things here that I've either forgotten about or dropped or not being very good at. And one of them is that challenge that I came up with for my birthday. So back in May, the end of May, there was the 52 card birthday challenge, where I asked for ideas, where I had to put some books in a hat, and I haven't done it, so I need to do that. Terrible. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.